Reactive training systems.
I don't think I would have a hard time listening to like a black box AI system. I think, you know, like it's just like, yeah, based on patterns, these vague patterns, you should take an extra rest day. And I'm going to go, uh, no, I'm not doing that.
I think because like you kind of have to have. I know what you mean because like if it's like a black box, you don't kind of know why it's suggesting. You haven't got an idea why it's suggesting it or like what it's
Right.
drawing its like intent from. You kind of know, okay, cool, why you should kind of do it or listen. But if you don't, it just even if it's right and it tells you what into it.
Yeah. Yeah. The buy-in is still important even for self-coached people, which is
Oh
interesting,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like he
I think it's more so because you own all the in process. The ownership of all the decision making is technically your own. And so you want to be the best decision maker for your training. So if someone's telling you to do not to do something or do something, and if you're not part of that process of decision making, you're like, well, the answer isn't telling me how to be a better self
Well,
coach.
I wonder if that's maybe part of the problem, right? For like people find self-coaching to be really difficult, and a lot of it has to do with those emotions that, you feel like, I feel good, I want to go heavy today. Why should I not go heavy today when I feel good? I feel like trash today, I just want to sleep. So why should I not do the thing that I just feel like doing? And then like not only do you feel a certain way, especially once you get a bit of knowledge, you can make an argument that, at least to yourself, sounds convincing, So that's kind of why I keep coming back to this litmus test of like, can it tell me to do something that I don't want to do? And I know that's for the best, Um, that's kind of how I've been thinking of it.
I think like what kind of helps me kind of with like obviously making program switching and stuff was like I'm writing things down why I did something. So like even if like this was another thing, I get a little anxious when I want to change things, especially when something works. But I think some of it work better. And like when I want to change it, like I'll write like why I think it's gonna work, or have like a note down and like even if it doesn't go tits up or it goes well, at least I can say I was doing it for this reason. They're just like throwing something in there because I've seen something. Like because like there's always like it's easy when things haven't gone well, but it's harder when things have gone well and you're like, but this could be better. And it's like, how do I then navigate like let's say you're getting like each pack again makes 10 kilos, but what if you sit 15 and still be like relatively healthy? But it's like, I want to change this one. Or 10's good. So you got, so I just make sure like I write some notes down like that's the why I'm making the change. So it doesn't.
Do you ever go back and I'm asking this because I used to do something similar. Do you ever go back and look at those and be like, that was a stupid reason to change it? I definitely did that more than a few occasions, but
Oh, this is another thing you're going like it's like because sometimes like the result you get is not why you think it's happening. So you might like draw some assumptions from that, and it's not actually why it's happening.
yeah,
You make a decision based on like an assumption you had without like fully thinking it through, and then once you like, but I think this is why it helps like you make a note of like what you've done. At least like even if it's like split with that things you did, you kind of know okay, cool. This is why I kind of thought that, and it guys like oh, I just went off for a
yeah,
second. Well, or if like let's say they didn't do as heavy as we wanted, and they got to meet day, and it's like it's in a felt flat, and it's like why you think you're flat is not why you actually didn't go that way. It's like if you look at like what their last couple blocks has been, it's like these RP10 the last two blocks. You're going into this block with a lot of fatigue. Just because you didn't fit this certain amount of load before you meet the new, you can't do that on the different circumstances. So it's like thinking accurate assumption. People like full assumptions based on like things like that, or it's like oh I had a really, or it's like something like let's say I felt really strong on this week before. Is it because I benched like the day before? Maybe you maybe just it thinks before. So the whole block you will not be in there, but just because of circumstances you just have to do this time, you still ended up with the result you wanted. Like it doesn't then mean like you now have to change everything else because of this one day. It's like you're drawing like this is like one data point. It's like you have all these lists of questions tell you this. Yeah, I think it's like I think it helps with like to write like why you use it something. So like you can kind of look back and go, yeah, this makes sense. That what you're trying to do. I did that with the deadlifts. Helped quite a bit with like obviously navigating like like I think it's coming back from approach like you can do like so like with my second day to actually fly. My approach is mostly like around like having 2 days, 2 o'clock right here. And obviously kind of pull away back from that of like, if I don't have 2 types of foods, I've only done it for like 50 years, more stronger. It's not really working right so much for me now. But it's like I've done this like this fall back and it's like after people have gotten strong without doing any of this. People have gotten strong just one in their phase and just came for enough one move prompts to truly. So it's like you can get strong from loads of different approaches. And it's kind of like rally stuff. So it's like the first to use keep up it is. One day race just flat. It's like a cool. After a couple sets, same load, just to mind people. Let's try out. Push one day, this day like let's try it out. Worst case, that's a bad one. And I don't think it's expected, but it can't be any worse than getting injured. It's like can't be any worse than this. And then just kind of leg through maybe, and then just kind of adjusting it, and like it didn't go so well. I'll just make that be flat. What does that do? And then yeah, it kind of worked itself out. But then like being like still for no reasons. I just not wanting to vary from what you've always been doing. I feel like I do see flat if you think that read a lot.
Yeah,
Like
something that served you in the past might not always serve you. You need to learn when to let it go.
Yeah, those things definitely change over time. Do you have a review process that you go through? Like I know we talk about our block review process where we kind of systematize it. Do you do something like that, or do you just kind of you're making those observations as you go in a more fluid way?
or like so with meat clock I have like general targets like each day and then I'll have that out like so in a separate like sheet where so if I want to be roughly for and then I obviously know how I've done see with practice and then at the same point and then obviously end of the block my pathway to keep how close is that to these target and obviously what would be at D and then generate like even though I hit the number sitting it the chest if like she off by the RP and obviously an overall like how I'm feeling too. So that's kind of most of this is what I did in that abnormal like did a day feel really bad compared to what I was expecting, did a day was feeling good. When I kind of know okay cool like whether I'm in the right direction or I'm changing things for forward. So yeah, it's pretty like simple really. It's just kind of what in the back is like the Reynolds hat I've got.
Hey, let me tell you something that I know about you. Your lifting is important to you. It's probably one of your biggest priorities. And for people like us, nothing compares to the feeling that you get when you set a new PR. That feeling of being the best that you've ever been, of doing something that you've never done before. This is what we're all after, and it's also what RTS specializes in. Getting you the absolute best program possible so that you can hit new PRs and reach your goals. We call it radically individualized training, and we're really good at it. Whether we need to account for busy schedules or equipment limitations, or precisely turn the dials and get the details of the program just right, we have the tools and the experience to guide your lifting to the next level. To us, coaching is all about leadership, relationship, and creative problem solving. A coach should be poised to help you make tough decisions about training and competing so that you can continually grow in your development. And of course, a coach should be a first-rate problem solver, especially when it comes to your training, technique, and strategy. Now, all this has to be built off of a really strong, professional coaching relationship that emphasizes trust and respect. Additionally, RTS coaches are not on an island. We have a strong network of professionals to reach out to, so if you find yourself in need of some specific expertise, say in the realm of nutrition or injury management or sports psychology, there's a deep expertise available there too. For more information, go to store.reactivetrainingsystems.com and click on coaching. That's store.reactivetrainingsystems.com, then click on coaching. Hope to see you on the team soon.